There are people in your life right now, people you trust, people you love, who are using specific psychological techniques to control how you think, how you feel, and what you do. They didn't learn these in a classroom. They learned them by watching what works on you. And the most terrifying part? You won't recognize it while it's happening. Today, I'm going to show you exactly 7 of these techniques, what they are, how they work inside your brain, and most importantly, how to stop them cold. By the end of this video, you will see manipulation differently, not as something that happens to weak people, but as a precise science, one that works on everyone, including the most intelligent people in the room. In fact, the smarter you are, the more vulnerable you may actually be. We'll get to why in just a moment. Welcome to Dark Cognition, where we expose the hidden mechanics of the human mind. Let's get into it. Trick number 1 is love bombing. Trick number 1 is called love bombing. Here is what it looks like. Someone enters your life, and within days, they make you feel like the most important person in the world. Constant messages, compliments, gifts, deep conversations at 2 in the morning. They mirror everything you love. They agree with everything you say. It feels incredible. And that is exactly why it works. Your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical triggered by gambling, sugar, and social media, every time this person shows up. You become chemically dependent on their attention before you've known them for a month. Then, without warning, they pull back, and now you're chasing them, desperate to get back to how it felt in the beginning. That desperation, that's what they were building all along. How to defend yourself? If someone's affection feels overwhelming and too fast, slow down. Real connection builds gradually. Anything that accelerates too quickly is worth questioning. Trick number 2 is the most psychologically addictive on this entire list. It is called intermittent reinforcement. Scientists discovered this first in rats. When a rat presses a lever and gets a reward every single time, it stops caring. It only presses when it's hungry. But when the reward becomes random, sometimes yes, sometimes no, the rat becomes obsessed. It presses the lever compulsively. It cannot stop. Manipulators do the same thing to people. One day they're warm, loving, perfect. The next day, cold, distant, critical. Then warm again, then cold. Your brain cannot predict the pattern, so it stays on alert constantly, searching for what it did wrong, desperately trying to bring back the warm version of this person. This is why people stay in toxic relationships for years, even when they know it's wrong. It's not weakness, it's neuroscience. How to defend yourself? Notice the pattern. If someone's behavior toward you is wildly inconsistent with no logical explanation, that inconsistency itself is the red flag. Trick number 3 is one you've probably heard of, but most people don't understand how subtle it actually is. Gaslighting. It doesn't always sound like that never happened. Sometimes it sounds like you're being too sensitive, or I was just joking, why do you always take things so seriously? Or you have a terrible memory, you always do this. Said once, it's dismissive. Said consistently over months, your mind begins to doubt itself. You start asking other people, am I overreacting? Is this normal? That is the goal. A person who doesn't trust their own perception is a person who depends on the manipulator to define reality for them. How to defend yourself? Keep a record. Write things down when they happen. Your written memory cannot be argued with.
Trick number 4 never announces itself. Isolation happens slowly, so slowly you don't notice until it's complete. It starts with small comments. Your friend doesn't really care about you. Your family never supported your dreams anyway. I'm the only one who truly understands you. One comment, then another, then another. 6 months later, you look around and realize the only person left in your life is the person who removed everyone else. This is not an accident. A person with no outside support has no one to reality check with, no one to tell them what you're experiencing is not normal. The manipulator becomes your entire world by design. How to defend yourself? Actively protect your relationships. If someone consistently pushes you away from the people who knew you before them, that is not love, that is architecture. We are halfway through, and I need you to stay with me for the next 3, because tricks 5, 6, and 7 are the ones most people never see coming. Number 6 in particular, it's one of the simplest psychological moves in existence, and it works almost every single time. Trick number 5, the foot in the door. Trick number 5 has a name that sounds almost too simple. It is called the foot in the door technique, and it has been studied since the 1960s. Here's the principle. If you get someone to agree to a small request first, they become significantly more likely to agree to a much larger request later. Why? Because your brain needs to stay consistent with its own identity. Once you say yes to something small, you have now defined yourself as someone who says yes to this person. Manipulators know this. They start with tiny, reasonable requests. Help me with this one thing, it's nothing. Then the requests get larger, then larger still, and each time you agree, the next yes becomes slightly easier for your brain to justify. How to defend yourself? Notice the pattern of escalation. Each request on its own may seem reasonable, but if the asks keep growing, step back and look at the full picture. Trick number 6, the silent treatment. This is psychological warfare disguised as saying nothing at all. When a manipulator goes silent, they are not processing their emotions, they are punishing you. They know that silence creates anxiety, that your brain will fill the empty space with fear, guilt, and self-blame. You will replay every conversation, question everything you said, begin to believe that whatever happened, it must have been your fault. And the moment you break, the moment you reach out to apologize, to fix it, to make the silence stop, you have handed them complete control. Because now they know silence works on you, and they will use it again. How to defend yourself? When someone goes silent, do not chase. Use that time to reconnect with yourself, your other relationships, your own judgment. The silence says far more about them than it does about you. And the last trick, trick number 7, is perhaps the cruelest. It is called future faking. It looks like this. I promise things will be different. Once things settle down, we'll travel together. When the time is right, I'm going to change. These promises are not lies told carelessly. They are calculated. The future is a space the manipulator can fill with whatever you need to hear because it costs them nothing today. You stay, you wait, you hope. Months pass, the promises remain promises, and when you bring it up, they make a new promise. This cycle can continue for years. How to defend yourself? Judge people exclusively by what they do, not what they say they will do. A single consistent action is worth more than 1,000 promises about the future.
7 tricks, 7 psychological weapons. Love bombing to create dependency. Intermittent reinforcement to keep you addicted. Gaslighting to destroy your trust in yourself. Isolation to remove your support. Foot in the door to escalate control gradually. The silent treatment to punish you into submission. Future faking to keep you waiting indefinitely. None of these are used by accident. And recognizing them, simply being able to name what is happening to you, is the first and most important step towards taking your power back. Knowledge doesn't just inform you. In cases like this, it protects you.